The message arrived at dawn. My son's words were clipped, precise, almost military. "Start packing. The house has been sold." I smiled, slow and deliberate, feeling the last pulse of triumph settle in my chest. They weren't my things anymore, but they had been mine first. I remember the first time I met him. The way he laughed, the ease of his hand brushing mine, the way I believed in us without hesitation. We built a life framed in trust, whispered promises, and shared dreams. And yet, years later, that same trust would become my weapon. I noticed it first in small shifts: the sudden interest in obscure legal loopholes, the hushed phone calls at night, the disappearing checks that never made sense. I didn't panic. I observed. I cataloged. Every misstep, every lie became a map. The truth hit me when I found the property contract hidden among the utility bills. Spain, a second home, all in his name, supposedly a secret investment opportunity. And then the pension papers, silent gold waiting to be claimed, unmentioned in the mournful eulogies. My blood ran cold, but my hands stayed steady. I didn't confront. I didn't cry. I smiled quietly, like someone studying a chessboard while everyone else was screaming. The betrayal didn't make me weak, it made me meticulous. I planned, I calculated, I played the long game. First, I secured my position legally. My lawyer didn't question why I moved so quickly. I didn't volunteer explanations. Next, I created distance. Friends, acquaintances, even my own son were shielded from my knowledge. I had to act unseen, invisible in plain sight. Then the moves became surgical. The pension? Reallocated discreetly into accounts only I could access. The house in Spain? I let them believe it was untouched, unclaimed, unimportant. All the while, I built an illusion of vulnerability. I played the widow perfectly. The day they tried to strike first, thinking they could corner me, I was already 2 steps ahead. My son's text, so confident, so casual, arrived with the assumption that the house would be empty, my hands tied. They didn't know I had packed weeks ago, not for moving, but for the dismantling. Every room emptied, every asset redirected, every piece of evidence of my independence, my control, secured. When they arrived, I welcomed them with the serene smile I had perfected in front of mirrors. They expected confusion, perhaps grief. What they encountered was calm authority. "Where's everything?" my son asked, trying for indignation, but failing to mask the flicker of panic. I shrugged, innocently precise. "It's all gone. I thought you'd want it." The weight of their shock was exquisite. Their realization that every carefully planned move, every attempt at manipulation, had been anticipated. It settled over them like ice. I watched them unravel, piece by piece, without uttering more than a word. Justice doesn't need shouting, it thrives in silence. Later, alone, I let the relief wash over me. Not a triumph born of cruelty, but of inevitability. They had underestimated me, my mind, my restraint, my patience. The betrayal that had threatened to shatter me became the instrument of my liberation. I kept the Spanish house, legally and quietly, now more mine than ever. The pension remained untouched in my control. My son, my betrayer, and their allies? They were left with the echo of my calm, the knowledge that every step they had taken to control me had failed spectacularly. I sipped my morning coffee in the sunlight spilling across the terrace, the ocean a quiet witness to my quiet victory. I had mastered the art of silence, patience, and precise timing. And in that mastery, I discovered something they could never take: the unshakable power of a woman who knew her worth and refused to be diminished. Sometimes I still think of that first message. I smile. They thought they were making the rules, but I had already written the ending.